Recently, one of my friends reached out to me and said he needs a communication tool for his company of about 30 employees. Although his company is scaling, he just wasn't down to pay about $9 per employee. That's going to run him almost $300 a month. So I told him I'm going to rebuild him his own proprietary version of Slack, and he's going to get to use it at cost. In this video, we're going to be using ChatGPT for our prompts, and we're going to be using Orchids for the build. And we're going to be able to build Slack in under 30 minutes. So first, we're going to give ChatGPT a bit of context, and it's important to just be super honest when you're talking to AI. We're literally going to be honest and tell it what we want to be accomplishing with this prompt. We're then going to give ChatGPT a little bit more context about our product. In this case, we're going to say that we want it to be like Slack, easy to use for older users. Users can do voice huddles, they can chat, they can react to messages, and more. And we're also going to be adding a daily stand-up bot. So similar to Geekbot for those who aren't familiar with Slack. And basically that bot is just going to ask them super simple questions every single day. Like, what did you do yesterday? What will you do today? What blockers do you currently have, etc. And lastly, we're asking ChatGPT to make us a mega prompt that's going to allow us to basically one-shot this in Orchids. Okay, so now that we've got our prompt, we're going to go ahead and copy it, and then we can go ahead into Orchids. Okay, so now that we're in Orchids, I'm going to go ahead and paste in the prompt, and we'll just let it do its thing. So it's going to take a few minutes for the first prompt to go through. Usually, when I'm waiting for my prompts to finish, I like to go on X, so go ahead and follow me there, and we can continue the conversation. Orchids has already prompted me to set up a Supabase. For those who aren't familiar with Supabase, it's basically the easiest database to use when you're coding with AI, so I highly recommend it if you're a beginner. So it's been around 15 minutes, and the app is finally made. It made us a landing page here, and it called it Frack Beta, and it seems like we have like a working landing page here. So it says team chat that just works. Frack is a no-nonsense team chat, big text, clear labels, zero clutter, no credit card required, 7-day free trial, and I guess it priced it at $4 a month per organization. That comes with unlimited users. And it mentions here that you can get up and running in 60 seconds. So first you create your organization, you invite your team, and then you can start communicating. It's really that simple. Okay, so I just logged in with the test credentials, and here we are. It looks like we have a full chat environment. Let's go ahead and create our first channel. Let's go test, and then call it test again. Let's create the channel. And here we go. So we have our first error. So now that we found our first bug, we're going to go ahead and send our first wave of updates. So the first thing we're going to do is say set up email auth for user sign up and member invites. And then the second one is going to be make channel creation functional. Third one will be make sure stand-up bot is functional as well, because we haven't actually tested the stand-up bot, but I'm assuming that it's also not going to be functional. And then make sure when I click on tabs, it loads faster, because I'm seeing here when I click on something, it kind of takes a while to load. See, it takes a little bit of a second of a buffer. So let's have it identify what those issues are and fix it. By the way, this is not sponsored, but one thing that's great about Orchids is that you could bring your own models with you. So if you have subscriptions to ChatGPT, Claude, or even Grok or Gemini, you can sign in with those subscriptions and you won't even have to start paying for credits. You can just use an AI that you're already paying for. One other thing that I find really great is that you can connect your GitHub account really easily, and you can go ahead and create repos with ease. So my repository was just created in one click and it was synced. So I didn't even have to create my Stripe, and the activate subscription button already works, and I didn't even have to connect my Stripe account, and we could already be testing the payments in a test environment. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and deploy this, and we're gonna go test this out in our browser. So we actually ran into a few more issues, so I'm gonna go ahead and send a few more changes. So we also wanna make sure that the huddles work. So we're gonna ask the agent to test the huddles or the voice rooms and see if it works. It's actually kind of like being a product manager on a team, because product managers, all they do is talk. There's kind of memes about that, and they just test things and talk all day. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is using one of these AI ID tools. It's like, if you love using products and you know how they work and you're good at giving feedback, then you're gonna have an easy time building these apps. Let's go ahead and test some of these messages here and see if it works, and it's not, so we have to keep debugging. Okay, so it seems that it fixed what was happening, and I'm assuming that basically it wasn't able to pull some of the messages from the backend, and now that the fix is added, we can see the messages that I tried sending just a moment ago. I'm still not able to click on the stand-up bot, so let's identify the issue with stand-up bot and why I can't click on it. Also, let's make sure that the admin, an org creator can configure the stand-up bot. Okay, and just like that, the stand-up bot section was fixed, and we can go ahead and configure it. Here it has some inputs on what time you want the stand-up to show up every single day. some reminders for people that forget to do their stand-up, and then the time zone. And then we could also, it also asks you what channel you want to post the stand-ups to. And here we could also see the participants. So since I'm the only person that's in the organization, we can only see myself. But this is cool. This looks like it's fully functional. Let's go ahead and ask the stand-up bot to tag the users as well. Let's give the users the option to change their name and update their profile photo via a profile modal. You can add these tabs here. So you could add a database where you can manage the database directly and kind of visualize the Supabase database that we already created. And another thing is payments as well. So since we're using Stripe for payments, we can basically track everything from here directly. And also we can claim the environment through Stripe if we ever want to. So here the database loaded up, and what's actually incredible is that I can claim the database via Supabase if I'd like, and I could also switch the database. So Orchids isn't locking you into any specific type of database. You can basically use anything you want, and I could use either decide to use the native database that is within Orchids, or I can claim the database via my own Supabase account. So I know I'm saying base this. If you're not familiar with what that is, I know it could sound a little bit foreign to you, but this will make sense really fast. One more thing I want to mention is that if you are more technical, you can edit your code directly in VS Code natively on the Orchids app. So here you have VS Code that loads up when you go in the code tab, and you can basically edit code directly. And obviously for me, since I'm non-technical, this doesn't really much to me, but it is great that Orchids does have features that really support their more technical users. All right, so let's go ahead and invite another user, and we're gonna test all these features out and see if this works. All right, so it turns out I had to create an API key on something called Metered. All I had to do was go on the website, create a free account, and then give my credentials over to Orchids, and it was that simple. So it seems like it's all hooked up. Now let's go ahead and give it a try. And by the way, I was able to change my profile photo to a picture of my cat, and I also updated my name. So let me go ahead and send a message. I'm gonna take my laptop, go in the other room, and let's see if this works. Well, I forgot to create a room, so let me create a room and join it. And now let me go to the other room and test this out.
A few moments later.
Okay, so now we can test this out, and I guess it's working. So, I mean, we're in the age now where software is becoming cheaper to make on your own than to pay for it. So, yeah, please leave a like on this video and let me know down below what we should build next.